Hi, welcome to the first edition of Legal Quilts for 2024. Got so many plans for this year and it's going to be so exciting. We're going to finish the Tapestry quilt. We're going to finish the Bargello quilt. Got great plans for Scrap Summer. First of all, I want to thank, and we got picked up a whole bunch of new subscribers. I want to thank all of the new subscribers, and I hope you'll stick around. And of course, welcome back to all the old subscribers. Thank you for sticking around. Like I said, I can't wait to share all wonderful plans for this year with all of you. But we're going to start off a little easy for this first one back. It's, you know, those gray days of January, not really energetic, whatever. So we're going to kind of ease back into it. I also got my first shots, my first shingle shot, and I did my COVID booster, so trying to get this done before I crash. So I wanted something simple. So we're going to do the simplest thing ever. We're doing leaders and enders today. What are leaders and enders? They're very simple piecing things that you use so that when you're sewing other patches and blocks and such, your thread, your needle, something's always under your needle, and so that you don't get that grabbing sometimes when it doesn't feed smoothly on your project. You can use scraps, you know, just any old scraps, and just use that. But one thing about leaders and enders is you can make a whole nother quilt at the same time. Usually you use scrap pieces in the different shapes that you want to sew, so that if they get mangled under the needle, it's okay, you just toss them and move on. But for this one, I am digging into the charm packs. I'm going to use these nice little blue ones, because what I want to do is make 4 patches with these of just the various blues, and then I'm going to just sew them all together into this really interesting blues quilt. Okay, you can do all kinds of shapes with leaders and enders. Bonnie Hunter of Quiltville, she's got lots of leaders and enders suggestions on her website. She's got a book about it. It's really great. I don't get into really a lot of shapes. I prefer just to use 2.5-inch squares, sew them into 4 patches, take off, you know. And again, if they get mangled, toss them, or in this case, I'd probably pick them apart because I do like this fabric. But it's not to concentrate on your main block piecing. It's something under your needle to keep from mangling the main. Okay, so what do? What I'm going to do is I've already got something under the needle, but just randomly grab one off each of these. You know, I've got 3, so it's going to be weird, but you just randomly grab, you know, if you're going scrappy, or if you've got it planned, which I have done, grab the 2 pieces you want to use, get them under your needle, then you grab what you're working on, and this is still the this is 2 strips from the Bargello placemats. That's what the actual project is the Bargello placemat. And you're going to lay that butt it right up against your leader and ender piece. You should do one at the end too, so when you run off, you make sure you're sewn all the way down. That requires remembering to stick it. I've seen some where like you flip it around then, and so I don't know. There's a lot more stuff out there. I actually really only do leaders, but it's called leaders and enders. And again, there's a lot more videos out there. And folks, I have no problems if you go to other videos. If you don't like what I'm doing here, I'll be glad to send you to another video. If you say, hey, wait, I didn't see that, or can I see the entire project? I'm like, not done yet, but here, you can go see somebody else who did it. I have no problem sending you to other creators. Just come back here to see what I'm doing, and then go support the other creators too. There's more than enough to go around, okay? And although I realize people have limited amount of time, but we can all share, right? So anyway, it's just start with your leader. Make sure you don't really want to mangle it if you can help it. So do make sure your thread is pulled through so that it kind of smoothly goes under there, because that's what happens is your thread gets in the way and then it all blocks up. But you put that under your needle, you put your leader piece under your needle, you put your project piece right up against it. Oops, there we go. And then you just sew using your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And when you get near the end, because yeah, it's hard to kind of hold everything, as you can see, it kind of, when you get near the end, just as you would be feeding this through, it then feeds your project in smoothly, so that you just smoothly go on. You don't get that mangling at the top that happens sometimes. And like I said, if you do mangle it on your leader piece, that's okay, because then you can just toss it because you're using scraps, or if like me you're using planned piecing, you can pick it apart later and still continue with your main project. And so that's all a leader and enders are, is just really as a way to keep your main project piecing along without getting mangled under your needle, because we've all been there. And when you're done sewing your piecing there, okay, when you're all done sewing your piecing, it looks like this. Okay, there's your leader, there's your project piece. You then just snip them apart. And you put this aside wherever you're going to keep these, and grab your next one and do your next piece. If you're chain piecing, of course, you've got the whole thing and you just cut your chain pieces apart. And then if you've got all your, you can turn this then into the 4-patch by using the next 2 that you've done. You know, when you get all your 2s done and you want to do the 4 patches, this is also really good for if you have an extra long string. It's now on your piece. Whoops, I grabbed 3, so I'm going to have to rip that apart. See, if you make a mistake like that, it doesn't matter. This is your leader and ender. Going to have to rip that apart, but it's okay. Okay, everybody's had this happen. But what you do is, after you've sewn all your 2s together, or whatever your first basic piece that is, then you sew the 2s together to make your 4-patch, and you use that as a leader. And then, of course, when you get all your 4 patches together, you take them and you make your own quilt, make the main quilt using other leaders and enders. It's kind of a continuous thing. It's really great. Again, you can do scraps. I've done a couple leader and ender quilts. I found this great one by Samilia's mom. And it's called Twirling at the Disco. And she used, it was 4 patches sewn into 16 patches with then blocks in it. And it was just very pretty. And I took that and I used a beach theme one where I had blues and browns. And then I used some water for the big blocks, and I called that Dancing on the Beach. I took some Christmas fabrics, and I called that Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. So that was a fun pattern, but this one is just going to be just the straight 4 patches just sewn together, all together into a scrappy blue quilt. I'll probably have to buy more of these charm patches to finish it. Mini charm patches, but I don't care, because that's what I like to buy. So that's it. Those are leaders and enders. It's that simple. Again, it's just a nice little thing to keep your fabric flowing smoothly so it doesn't get mangled around in this area. The needle grabs it, kind of drags it under the dogs and stuff. But that's all it is. Okay? Next time, we're going to be quilting the Tempestry, the Ocean Tempestry quilt. So if you haven't gotten your top together and all sandwiched, get that done. I'm going to be showing you a really cute quilt pattern on it, and we're going to be doing it with the quilt paper again, so I'm going to be doing that one. And then after that, we'll get back into the Bargello quilt because I'm still sewing the blocks. Don't forget to support the Ko-fi page, or buy some things from my website. That'll be in the show notes. I always like to hear commentary, folks, but remember how you speak to people. These are creators on YouTube, are real people. We're not just made up characters, okay? We're real people, so be polite. If you wouldn't talk to somebody that way in real life, don't talk on the internet that way. Don't leave comments like that. And if you do talk to people like that face to face, maybe you should consider your choices here, folks. And I know I'm going to get slammed for that, but you don't like how I run my channel? That's fine. There's plenty of other creators out there. Find the ones you do like. I'm sure there's one that you would fit with. If there's, constructive things. Hey, I didn't really see what you did. Okay. What size was those pieces? Somebody just asked me that. What size? Happy to help that. So, like I said, somebody asked, what's the finished project look like? I'm like, I haven't gotten to that yet. Here, go look here. Happy to do that. But if you're just going to tell me, stop, I don't like what you're doing, don't bother. It's my channel. I'm going to run things the way I want, and there's plenty of other choices out there. So with that, looking forward to seeing you all in 2024, sharing, helping each other, being kind and nice. All right, and see you next time.